Well, welcome back. We now want to bring in the White House Principal Deputy Press Secretary Shah, who's joining us live from the White House to provide us some more insider details on the GOP tax reform bill, but also the latest out of North Korea. Hi, Raj. I do want to start actually with North Korea, as that is the developing news right now. President, of course, just told reporters that we will take care of it, and Japan has called for an emergency meeting of the UN Security Council. So what's the next step from the White House perspective?
Well, look, the actions today by North Korea, what the president condemned, are very serious. This is the latest provocation by North Korea. It's a rogue regime that's threatening peace throughout the world. And this latest action is very telling about North Korea's intentions. This president has worked to marshal the entire world really to confront North Korea. We've had 2 UN Security Council resolutions, which are the toughest sanctions North Korea has ever received. And he's also gotten over 24 countries to cut diplomatic and economic ties to North Korea. So we want to continue that progress by putting more pressure, starting with China, Japan, and other countries in the region. The whole world is unified, as you saw today, with confronting this threat.
All right, and then other big news coming out of the Capitol today, of course, is that the Senate Budget Committee has passed their version of the tax reform bill. So what comes next for the White House after it goes to the full Senate for a floor vote?
Well, look, there are a number of senators that had questions and issues with the bill. The president went to the Senate today, talked to all of them, and he delivered. As you saw, Senator Johnson, Senator Corker, other Republicans stood behind this bill. Really, this bill and the House version both do what the president has asked the Congress to take action on, which is to cut taxes for the middle class and to lower the rate on taxes for American businesses so we can be more competitive, get more jobs back in the United States. So we're very excited about the development today. We're looking forward to the full Senate voting on this bill in the coming days, and then the House and Senate reconciling their differences so that way the American people will get a tax cut before Christmas.
All right, so we've seen this, going through the House, and we've seen it going through the Senate. But what has been the most difficult part of tax reform from the perspective of the White House?
Well, I think just maintaining unity among Republicans, it's always a challenge. But look, we haven't had tax reform at this scale in over 3 decades because there's a number of special interests and lobbyists that want to see reform stopped. There's special interest loopholes that people want to see protected, and really energizing the American people around cleaning up the code, broadening the base, and making taxes more fair and simpler. That way it can rev up the economy and create jobs. It's always a difficult job to do. It's why it hasn't been done in decades, but we're very optimistic about our prospects going into the next few weeks.
All right, and of course, a lot happening on Capitol Hill as we approach the end of the calendar year. Of course, we saw Schumer and Pelosi canceling their meeting with the president today, but Ryan and McConnell still attending that meeting. What's the White House's next step toward an agreement on a funding bill as this December 8th deadline quickly approaches? How does he get both sides on board for a bipartisan bill?
Well, let me say right off the bat, funding the government is very important. The White House is committed to funding the government. We need to fund our national security, as we learned today with North Korea's ICBM test. It's very important to ensure our military is funded, our veterans, our troops, federal workers. It will be a blow to our economy. We're very, very disappointed that Nancy Pelosi and Senator Schumer decided not to show up. You know what? Every member of Congress, regardless of our differences, should want to come together and fund the government. It's really the basic bottom line that Congress should do. Very disappointed about it. Look, we're gonna go reach out to them. We're gonna talk with other members and see what other steps can be taken to get a deal. But I think that if the government does move closer and closer toward a shutdown, we know which individuals didn't want to come to the table and deal.
All right, so is the president still confident that he will have tax reform done by Christmas, or at least by the end of the year, for the American people?
Yeah, we're very confident. We're very buoyed by the progress made today. Seems like the Senate and the House are uniting around proposals that are very similar, and then they're going to work on it in conference. And we hope, again, to give the American people a Christmas present of a tax cut.
All right, Principal Deputy Press Secretary Shah there live from the White House. Thanks so much for joining us on this hour of One America News.